Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 62nd episode of Crack Help on this fine Friday evening. Saturday evening, Sunday evening. I'm getting the days mixed up. There's a lot going on KTips. I was just talking to Philip about our online karting championship, which was on Friday night, that's for sure. And yeah, you're able to practice your skills in real life on the Gran Turismo 7 game. So if you've got a PlayStation, PS4, PS5, you can definitely hop on and join our free championship. It's cross summer. I'm sure a lot of you guys have some spare time now. It's going to be every fortnight, every other Friday, basically. Today we've got a lot of footage to go through, and it looks like we're going to have to skip over a few people, such as Vedant, who's not joined yet. He put it on about Eda's Speedway. Vedant Felipe, who wanted some help at his track, which is, I believe, somewhere in Portugal. We had Marios, who's asked a question. We're going to come to that in due course. And then we're going to round off with Theodore's footage, which will hopefully take us to the end of today's session. Welcome, Marcel.
Hi, Mike.
Good evening.
Evening.
Before we start with the reviews, it's great to have a resident Ferrari fan in, or Ferrari fans. And I mean, Piastri winning as usual today. I didn't expect anything less. What do you guys think of the race today?
It was a bit tense due to the tire tactics. So it was really nice to watch, and I enjoyed a lot Isaac Hadjar again. But of course, I have to mention my big friend Nico Hülkenberg.
Yes, P5. What is this?
P5.
Wow. I do want to ask what happened to Russell and Verstappen, because I didn't see the penalty incident. I saw the penalty that he got, but
his ego was in the way, so he was pissed off. You're not live yet, right?
Well, we are, but it's
sorry.
It's on the heat of the moment.
Yeah, but he didn't like the hard tires he got, and
okay.
I think it's sort of a reaction, and he doesn't like Russell, of course. So he really took revenge.
Yeah,
he steered into Russell, and I thought he gets some points on his license, even that I didn't like the action.
Yeah, obviously he lost his head, but we have to say that on the restart of the safety car, Russell, I think he touched him a little, which obviously made him a little mad, but nonetheless.
In my opinion, it comes around, goes around, because it's definitely something Verstappen would have done what Russell did.
Yeah, it's his.
And I'm Dutch, so I'm not biased.
Yeah.
So I saw when he hit him into the hairpin, right? But that was the penalty that he got?
Yeah.
Okay, because they were playing on the highlights, they were playing the team radio. And he said you got a penalty, and then it shows he hit him. So I didn't understand. I got confused.
I think GP, his race engineer told him to let Russell by, because on the first corner when Russell tried to overtake him at the restart, he, as I said, touched him a little, I think, and forced him off. So Max cut the corner and ended up in front of him.
Okay.
So that's why I think Max felt a bit that was a bit unfair.
Yeah. Gotcha. So he retaliated.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's always interesting to see the F1, and there's a lot to learn from it. Remember, that's technically the top level of motorsport. So whatever those guys are doing, they're setting the example, whether it's a positive or a negative way. Let's get started with the first footage of the day. We don't have Vedant over here, so we're going to have to move on to Felipe. Felipe is not here, so we're going to have to move on to Theodore. Theodore, talk to us about this Ironman session that you posted.
Yeah, it's a 1 hour race. There were 2 different classes. I was in the lightweight class. I think there were 6 other drivers in my class, and like 8 other drivers in the heavyweight class.
Nice.
The heavyweight class is 17 kg heavier. So a bit of a difference.
Definitely.
This is qualifying right now. So if you want to skip over a bit.
Sure. You did a race start, I guess, as well. Quali went well, I assume. You're on the front row.
I mean, the drivers that are in my class are not very experienced, are not very good. So whenever I race, I usually am at the front, especially in my class.
That's excellent. So what was the plan now? You got an hour to drive. Is it just get a clean start and hold position?
Clean start, hold position, obviously. I knew I was quali session. I was 4 tenths ahead with a yellow flag also. So that was good for my confidence. So yes, I think for the first few laps, I couldn't get away from the guy. I think my tires were a little bit cold.
Yeah.
You see, I was sliding a bit, and also sometimes it's hard for me. I'd say to get away from another driver. I kind of get anxious sometimes. So
racecraft.
Yeah.
This is a new thing they've added, by the way. Is this a fence they've added? Because I don't remember this last time.
No, this was always there.
Oh, okay, all right. Maybe nighttime, so
yeah,
we didn't notice. Honestly, it looks beautiful at this time of day. Is this just before sunset, I guess?
Yeah, I think the sun is setting right now, so I think in the 40-minute mark, it's nighttime.
Yeah, basically. And this is the SFI track. We are just talking about it earlier. Let's just take a look on maps before we go back to the footage, because there's a couple of different layouts you can do. Did you do the standard layout?
Yeah, this is the standard layout.
Awesome. And then we'll just bring you up so we have an overhead perspective. You can see that it's massive. Is it about 1.1 kilometer, 1.1 kilometers?
I think it's 1.3 or 1.4.
Wow. Oh, wow. Excellent.
Right now, it's the biggest track in Greece.
Yeah. This is the start. No, this is the start finish
line.
Yeah, we go down in this direction. We basically got a sector 1, we can call it. We were discussing earlier as well about the similarity of corners, just very long straights into tight corners, not much of a technical section, you could say, really to be seen. As we come towards the end of sector 1, it's a long sector. We'll draw it maybe to the end of here. Our sector 2 is a great chance for slipstreaming, bump drafting. It's all flat out this.
Yeah.
And then we come towards a big dip. I remember you mentioned last time there's a bump or something at the end of this straight. Is that the corner where it
in the middle of the curb? Yeah, there is a bump. It really unsettles the car, I have to say.
And then we basically got the final part of the track, which I'll just put in another color, where it's closer to double hairpin style, which brings us across the line. Now, when you joined, I think it was last year, was it, or earlier this year, when we reviewed some footage?
I think at the end of last year, because I did my first race here in early December.
Exactly. And you were just getting into it then as well, right?
Yeah, it was my first race there.
Right. I remember that now. So how have you conquered the corners over here, improved, and obviously topping your class in this race?
Yeah, I'd say I have improved a lot.
Which corner specifically did you improve? Which sectors maybe?
I think I was always good at sector 1.
Yep.
I could see, especially in a sprint race I did with another great driver who I think won the first race in the National Kart Championship at this circuit in the Rotax class. I was always gaining on him, and eventually when I passed him, I was really getting away from him in sector 1, and especially I think the last corner of sector 1. the one where you're pointing it right
over
now.
here, just you get a nice exit as well onto the main straight. Are there any corners which you're still trying to improve on?
The first corner right now, I am having a bit of a.
We could take a look at that at one point. Any other turns?
I think I have improved a lot in sector 3. The last corner, I think I need to improve a little bit more. I'm not quite sure if I am carrying too much speed in there. And also the last corner of sector 2, which is always a
I remember this one, the right. Let's take a look at some footage. Overall, did you improve your lap time from qualifying in the race? Did you go a bit faster? Do you remember?
Oh, a lot faster.
A lot faster, great.
Because I think they do 2 races, because obviously a lot of people come at the track on the race day. I think it was like 30 or 35 participants.
Amazing.
I usually do the first race, so the track wasn't really rubbered down yet.
Absolutely.
So the difference in qualifying is always really high. I think I did my best lap time towards the end.
About 50 minutes, 1 hour. Which timestamp do you think, roughly speaking?
I think like on the 15-minute mark. I did my best lap times when I changed on the final kart.
So this is basically a change you do.
Yeah,
everyone does a change.
Yeah, everyone does 2 pit stops, 2 mandatory pit stops. So the way they organize this, basically, you can't do a pit stop on the first and last 10 minutes. And you can do whenever you want in the middle. So you have to stay 2 minutes. You see at the TV screen right here the 2-minute mark. That's my dad that's talking to me right now, giving me some advice on my lap times also.
Absolutely. No, it's nice because you have a breather. You're not just in and out.
The difference in, I think, my first stint and my last stint was like a second.
Wow. Okay. A different kart, maybe a more rubbered in track as well, you could say. More confidence you had.
Yeah, basically, it's all of that, I would say.
Put together,
also, I think the the rubber down track is the most
main factor for sure. What happens if it's like 30 karts? Is it 30 in one go or 15-15?
No, it's 15 and 15.
Yeah. So the fact is you're constantly having karts clean the track, so sweep any dust off, form a racing line, put some rubber down like that. And especially after an hour, wow, it's perfect conditions for that. So that can adjust, your driving style. So when there's a bit more grip, you can go faster, but then how you approach some corners, you can even overdrive a bit because you're carrying a bit more speed. So you want to be mindful of those things. That's more specific though to indoor tracks, right? Indoor tracks, if you do 1 hour of driving in endurance race, let's say, then you're going to start to take a slightly tighter and tighter line because there's just so much grip that's down that you don't really want to waste meters. That's a whole nother rabbit hole we can get into of indoor racing. But on outdoors, it'll definitely affect you to an extent, not as severe as indoor. But when you get the pace and the opportunity to go with a kart like this, you feel confident in it. You got clean air. Definitely, that's a chance to put your best lap times in. Let's skip to the beginning of turn 1. Let's just take a look through turn 1. What's the thing that's bothering you in turn 1?
The thing is, I don't really know because I don't have a live delta. I don't really know what line is quicker and how much speed I should be carrying into the corner.
Gotcha.
When I'm reviewing the onboard back I see I slide a lot in turn 1, which I don't think it's really good, to be honest.
Okay.
So, but whenever I try to brake a little earlier or lift off a little earlier, I feel like I'm carrying too little speed and I'm not going quick enough.
You're underdriving. There's a bit more pace there.
Exactly.
A totally normal problem to have. And based on your feedback, the best way to resolve this would be to get some kind of a telemetry down and then, test lap by lap. One lap you do one line, or maybe 5 laps you do one line, next 5 laps you do another line, and you look at the delta on the screen. The really good thing is, and especially in Greece, check out Car Sketch. So Car Sketch, they're a parts manufacturer. Have you heard of them, Car Sketch?
No, I haven't.
I'll send you the Instagram link. They actually reached out to me a few days ago, and they've developed an easy mount which you'll attach onto your steering wheel like this with clips, and then it'll have a phone case. You just tell them whatever phone you got. The reason is there's a app called Racebox, which acts as a live GPS. Any track in the world, you set it up on your phone, and then you do a couple of laps, it'll get used to your track. So what these guys do is they'll supply you with the mount. You just get the Racebox software. They'll even refer you to that. They've got an arrangement agreement with Racebox, and it's so simple because I think it's way cheaper than something like a Micron or Unipro, which is what you see on the Rotax cards, the owner cards. Those are like 600 euros just for the screen.
Yeah,
of course you get the advanced telemetry and throttle traces and all that. But Racebox is simply lap time, and lap by lap, he'll say if you're gaining or losing in that specific one. So I'll send you some links after that. The idea with that is, then you can just mount it on to any cart. So like in that pit stop, you could have just grabbed the mount off the steering wheel, put it on the new cart, and then it would have told you the delta for the next cart. So right now, what you can do, obviously you don't have that telemetry right here. What's been the line you're doing on the fastest lap? Is it what we're seeing here? Because this obviously want your quicker laps where you're just on the limit of sliding and maybe getting the rear out a bit.
I think on the last stint I was quite consistent. So I usually hovered around the 1 minute 12 mark. I think I did 3 laps where I went like I did an 11.9 and my best lap was an 11.8, which I don't remember exactly where it is. I think it's somewhere here after that. I think I did a really good turn 2. So excellent. I remember what lap it is.
On this session, you think?
Yeah.
Is it about 1 hour, 1 hour 5, 10?
Let's go on the 1 minute 3 mark.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This is next lap.
Here, basically,
This is literally 103, by the way.
Yeah.
And this is turn 2. Is a nice example. The main thing I wanted to discuss was about the potential references you might have for this corner. I think a lot of this is just on feeling, because if you can tell me, is there some kind of a reference you use, or is just you're looking ahead to the corner?
At that speed, I remember when they hadn't painted the curbs. There was a point where there was rubber marks from the carts, especially from the Rotax carts, and I used that as a reference. But right now, I can't see a thing, so I don't have a reference. It's basically instinct and feeling.
Yeah. And ultimately, that's the best way to go, on feeling, because cart to cart, track condition to different times that you drive there, it will be slightly different. So that way, the reference, you can't always rely on it. Now, in this case, start with your vision. You should always be looking ahead. I assume you're already targeting your apex, and then the closer we get to that corner, that's when we have to start analyzing in our mind. Now's a good time to come off. I assume you're going for a relatively late break. Is that correct, or is it an early break you're trying to do?
Now I break.
I think it's quite early, actually. Just looking at your footwork. If you look at the pedals here, gas, release.
Yeah.
So on the brakes, I'd say relatively early, which is nice. What you're doing after that, because that you got some rotation in the car, rear end's coming out a bit, slight bit of counter steer, not to worry. And then as you feed the gas, like how you're doing that before the apex, cart's just stepping out. You're again holding a few degrees of opposite rotation. This just shows you're on the limit, right? It's a good thing.
Okay.
I would prefer you do that than underdriving, as you probably found when you're braking too much or braking a bit too early. The thing is, this will this lap in isolation, for example, that's not really going to affect you. One thing we did notice though was on the corner exit, maybe you had a bit of a correction. So I think midway through you found maybe you're putting a bit too much gas, so you let go, and then there was a bit of a correction on the steering wheel where you went back to the right and then put the gas back down again. So yeah, it's about finding the limit, and there's not much runoff over here as well. So I understand why you can't fully commit. Because if you do, I think you'll be off onto the grass, right?
Yeah, I've had a few instances where I went off. But yeah.
At least you're pushing the limits. For this kind of corner, I'd say, especially in rentals as well, the earlier the better in terms of the brake and the gas. Keep doing what you're doing, and then on feeling, find out, am I counter steering too much? If it's too much counter steer, that's too much sliding. Try and keep it in as neutral position as possible. And try to keep your gas constantly rising as we get closer to the apex. So what will happen is sometimes you brake, you put gas, and then you'll feel that, hold on, the cart, I put too much gas down now. The cart's sliding a bit too much. So you might release a bit just to correct the cart. And then you'll put your foot down again. So that's what we call a correction. We want to try and avoid corrections like that. All that we're going to do is, practice that technique. And it's better to start conservative. So we go for an early break. We're sure that car will slow down and I've got time to put the gas on. Then we just delay the braking a little and a little and a little.
Okay.
Any final things you'd like to cover before we move on to Vedant, who's just joined as well?
Not really. One thing I wanted to ask is that I asked the guys that organize these events. They said to me that I asked them basically what was the difference between what was the difference in weight on the lap times. They told me that every 10 kilos basically is 6/10. But I feel like that's a bit too low, because
especially on this kind of layout, it's lots of straights. It depends. I mean, how did they test it? Just one driver then put 10 kilos of ballast?
I don't know. I might have to test it myself, because I saw a video of that GP89 made. Who basically tested the exact same thing. But on a smaller circuit, which was the average lap time was about 45 seconds. And the difference every 10 kilos was basically 5 to 6/10. So I feel like on this layout, 6/10 is really low. Because the guy and I felt that because with the guys I was racing that day, they were really good drivers, and I managed to pull out a 50-second lead, and basically my best lap time was 1.5 seconds better than the lap time of the guy that came in second.
Marcel, you got something to add?
Regarding weight, I'm an expert. For your information, in English, I weigh 21 stones plus. And the track record where I drive is 36.2, and I have a 38.1 as best time. But I do weigh 70 kilos more than the track record holder. That would be for maybe I'm really good, which I'm not. But so you need to adjust your driving when you're heavy, and that's the main thing, because I can also in the wet I'm really way faster than a very light guy. So it depends.
Yeah,
it's not scientific math. It is who's driving, how. Now you get the point. It's not only weight, and there is a cutoff around 100 kilos when it doesn't matter if you're 100 or 110 or 120.
Yeah. No, that's a really, really good point. I was gonna say something similar, where when you're comparing the weights from driver to driver, so as you said in your race, why was it 1.5 seconds? There's different factors like Kart, number one, and then the lines he's taking. The best way to get an accurate understanding of your own level and how weight might affect you is where you take the same kart on the same track, ideally do sessions back to back to back when it's relatively busy, so there's constant grip on the track. And then session 1, no ballast weight. Session 2, 10 kilos of ballast weight. Session 3, 20 kilos of ballast weight. Now, of course, that in itself is going to give you a perspective of how the lead affects. Remember, the more lead you add, the worse it's going to get. So maybe just 10 kilos will be enough. 10 kilos is pretty much the maximum you want to add. Otherwise, the balance of the car, 15, 20, 25, 30 kilos of lead on the holder, just becomes very, very difficult to drive, a different driving style. The final way you can test it is obviously wearing the ballast weight. I'm talking from experience. You can go on the KTips channel. I've done loads of these weight experiments. And, one of them, I was wearing a 10 kilo weighted vest. So like the weight is on my body. It's as if I'm 10 kilos heavier. I even wore some ankle weights as well, I think 2.5 each. So check those out. And yeah, it's definitely dependent on kart, track conditions, and then the driver, because you want to, compare lines. But the fact that they've got a weight category and things like that, it evens things out. And, it means, how much weight were you still adding? I know there were 2 categories, but is it 10 kilos?
The difference between its categories is 7 kilos. My category is running at 75, so
nice. Okay.
I'm really light. I still have to add 20 kilos.
You're adding 20. Okay.
Yeah. And the other category is at 92 kg.
Gotcha. 75 is very, very reasonable. I know some tracks, they just put 85 and that's it. No higher, no lower. So, it favors the heavier driver. But you should be happy that at least it's lower by 10 kilos. 75 is reasonable. We're gonna have to move on. Though, Theo, you did drop me a follow, on Instagram.
Yeah, I was.
And you sent me a message, so I'm gonna get back to you on that and look forward to staying in touch. We're gonna have to move on to Vedant now. What's up, Vedant? Can you hear us? Welcome back. Hope you can hear us, Vedant. Just unmute yourself if you got a mic. Need to prepare for the upcoming championship. I'm a beginner. I want to summarize all of this. It's not my clip because I've not been to the track yet. This is Ida Speedway. Cool. I'm not sure if Vedant is there. Well, we've got a bit of time in today's session, and we don't normally review footage if the other driver is not present. But let's take a look. I'm sure Vedant is sorting out his mic issues. What we'll do, let's put up some footage. This is a very, very familiar track. I believe this is in India. I'm trying to figure out which state. We've had a number of drivers from Pune who've obviously submitted questions. This is not the Pune track. Must have been something similar. And yeah, let me just go back to the message. Vedant saying, I need to help preparing for this upcoming championship. I'm a beginner, and he wants to summarize this track. Nice thing that Vedant has actually done before we go to footage is going ahead to his overhead shot, which is put. This is a really, really nice overhead shot. This is almost better than the Google Maps because it's a clear zoomed in version. So you can really tell track width, for example, how things tighten up over here compared to, all of turn one. It's a simple track. When you look at it on the overhead shot, any track, you want to look at trends. Are there similar corners? Well, we can definitely tell this is full of hairpin turns, right? Now, when it comes to hairpin turns, it makes your life easier because you're going to be doing similar lines, similar approaches, like that. We just got a message from Vidani saying, I won't be able to talk, so I'll just listen. No worries. As I mentioned, we don't normally do that, Vidant, because it's great to have some kind of interaction, get your perspective, but we've got a bit of time today, so let's just crack on. When it comes to hairpin turns, again, don't take the hairpin in isolation. Look at what's ahead. So turn one is a hairpin, but what is turn two? It's a left-hand hairpin. So we've got to make sure that we take turn one in such a way where we're set up to have a nice exit, and then also in the best possible entry for turn two, right? Which is going to be our left-hand hairpin. General rule of thumb, you want to take late apex for hairpins simply because you're able to brake a bit later, get on the gas as well a bit earlier. It's the smoothest line. It's something like this. You can go deep into the corner, skip the early part, skip the mid, and hit something like a late apex. This is a smooth line. What you've got to do is refer to your footage. Now, this is some nice footage that we got. I believe we don't want to look at the rainy stuff because that's really not clear. So let's look at some of the daytime shots. When you are going to a track for the first time, this is the best thing you can do. Have a look at some footage because it gives you visual understanding of how wide the track is going to be, how close the corners are going to be connected. And this is a great example because on the overhead shot, coming out of turn one and going to turn two, we thought, oh, it's quite a long straight, but in fairness, it's really not that long. Right, and hairpin goes into a left-hand hairpin over here. Other things to observe are going to be things like tires. Now, this is technically your apex point. There's no curbs as per se. Maybe the white line on the inside is some kind. These are all visual cues you've got to be looking for. We're then coming to sector 2, which is a long right. And it's interesting because on the footage, based on how the driver is taking this corner, it's pretty much flat out, right? So if you compare this to our track map, turn 3, over here, this corner is basically nice and flowing, pretty much flat out. It's an interesting line that the driver on the video took as well. Hugging the inside tires, wasting as less meters as possible. I think that's going to be a general technique you want to take into this track is how can I keep my momentum high and get the best possible exit out of these hairpin turns. So yeah, they're sharp corners, but we want to drive them in such a way where we're getting our braking done early. We're on the gas nice and early. If we go through sequence of different corners, then we'll able to break it down. So we got turn 1. And turn 1, I'd say, is probably a bit tighter than turn 2. I'd say this corner will require a bit more braking. Notice how onboard driver gets his braking done just after the start-finish line. Goes for a relatively late apex. Try and get close to your apex points, right? When we're observing footage, we're looking for, okay, your entry is good, but what about the mid part of the corner? Are we closing the distance between your kart and the tires? The white lines. If there's a gap there, you know there's time to be won. Then got a similar corner as we reviewed. Turn 3 is the long right-hand turn. Hug this part. Again, this is what you want to be doing in relation to all of the corners. Getting nice and close. To round off the lap, tap of the brake nice and early. Gas before the apex. Make sure you're not too soon on the gas, otherwise you'll overshoot and keep space at the inside apex. Do the same thing for the final corner over here. Again, better effort from the onboard driver closing that distance. Final turn looks like a repeat of the turn 3 right-hander, where you just want to hug the inside tires. And it's a nice and simple track to do. The key, Vedant, is going to be track time for you. When it comes to learning a new track, first session is really going to be a warm-up. In that session, there's going to be some corners which are easy. There's going to be other corners which are really going to be bothering you. And those are the ones you want to double down on. So figure out how many sessions you're going to have across the course of the day. And then you'll have to, step by step, fix one at a time. It shouldn't be too difficult because it looks like a simple track with simply different hairpins. Vedant, we're going to have to move on to the next driver. It'll be great to have you on next time. Please make sure you got a mic if you'd like to review some footage, and look forward to having you in a future session. Welcome, Guy. Nice to have you on, just on time. I think you're muted.
Hello, Emma. How's it going?
It's been a minute, Guy. How have you been?
Been too long, my friend. Doing well. How about yourself?
It has been excellent, and looking forward to escaping the 50-degree heat soon, because summer is really ramping up in the Middle East.
Yeah, that's why gingers we don't go to places that are hot. We just don't do it. It's just, it doesn't work, you know.
That's why you come in November.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, it's going to be an interesting race this Liceo, isn't it? Hey,
I think Piastri will have it wrapped up by Liceo.
Whoa.
I don't want that to happen, but
don't say those sacrileges here, my friend. Lando Norris.
We want an exciting race. Who are you?
Dive bomb or switchback?
Just normal overtake.
Just a normal overtake.
Who are you backing this year?
I love a bit of George Russell. He's my boy, you know. I asked him the same question twice, you know.
I forgot.
have to back him. Shut up, Marcel.
You've got the personal connection. I forgot. We're below, Guy.
Exactly.
He's got Russell on his phone. He's asked him about his favorite karting track. Wow, this guy is. Next thing you know, he's going to be in the next Grand Prix. VIP passes.
Ow! I was going to riz him up, you know. I'm using my new camera today. I've got my Nikon Z50 Mark II, so looking for it. You see it blurs out the background automatically.
That's excellent. Now, you did WhatsApp me. You did say you had some footage you wanted to go through.
Well, no, it's not footage. Whoa.
All right.
I haven't been karting for the last week because look what happened to my hand.
What happened?
I got bitten by a dog.
Well, that's definitely going to keep you out of action. I'm sorry to hear that.
Not happy. I can't hold a steering wheel.
I was going to say, you can't do the push-pull technique.
One-handed is the way to go.
Hey, you can train the other hand. That's true.
I just use my knees.
You know what? That's a good point. I dare you to go karting now and just do one-handed. Is it your left hand?
I've been advised for legal reasons and medical reasons not to do that.
No, don't believe that.
It's like.
Well,
so
no. You're not using your hand, right? You keep it in your pocket, but you're gonna have to use your left hand.
Yeah, but then another thing
is, you've tried one-handed karting before. That really teaches you.
I am pretty good. Like I used to put
great warm-up.
I put my other hand on the battery pack of the Grizz karts.
Yeah.
Yo,
some people put it on the engine.
Get those with reflective sunglasses on and the Bluetooth headset. Easy BMW driver transformation. Easy BMW driver transformation. Go right up the job, start flashing them, flash for flash. Get out of the way. You know, it's the way to go.
One-handed driving.
This is what this guy was like in the best tune with that Lotus.
3-4 laps left hand, 3-4 laps right hand.
What was that guy's name in the Lotus?
You let me down there. Hassan, come on.
Hassan. Okay, it's very, very quick story time. This guy here was on his phone, chasing down Hassan with the other hand, flashing with one hand, phone in the other hand, and this guy, Hassan, gapped him, bro. He got gapped with the optimal line.
Listen, it's a Lotus. A Lotus is a Lotus.
That seems like an excuse to me. I mean, with my Mercedes-Benz AMG, you'd be toast.
Well, that's on you next time. I think a good thing to bring up whilst we discuss, will be actually some Vendome footage, because that's your kind of thing. Those are your karts. And
he's not happy. He got beaten, everyone.
I need to bring this. We've never showed track help.
No, we haven't. I've got
footage.
a couple of clips. So the problem is I lost the main one when I was actually doing well, but it's a bit of a chaotic. Oh my god!
So this was a 1v1, Guy Williams versus KTips. And I don't know. Since that day, we've never beaten these timings. You did a 24-0. I did a 23.9, and we never beat it since that day.
You know why? It's having that motivation when you got GWI Racing, the king of the biz karts behind you. You've got that motivation to run. You know, you have to run.
The way the session, a lot of tension.
There was. We were beefing.
It was a proper 1v1. So this was the final session of the day.
Well, it was a 1v1, but it was a 1v1 where we couldn't really pass each other. We just had to kind of go get fast lap times.
Yeah, this was for best lap times. Probably the best I've driven here so far. Although there's a lot of corners can probably get better, but
yeah, I think so. The
physicality on this track. Tell the viewers about it.
It was crazy. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. The passion, the aggression. It was unbelievable, mate.
And it's a physical track.
This is what I was going on to. No, genuinely, bear in mind that we are quite tight tracks within Acton. This is leagues above it. Like leagues above it. It's constant. It's brutal. It's like the Monaco, probably even more Monaco than Acton of the indoor tracks. I mean, the karts were stiff. Biz karts were renowned to have quite stiff steering, unlike the Sodis. The Marshall was just chilling there on his phone. Was why not?
Yeah, no one's gonna crash.
Exactly.
We racing here.
The grip levels made it really quite challenging. It's corner after corner after corner. It was incredible. A really great day to be with Omar. Of course, when I had a milk bun after that, just why not? You know, food help went crazy. Food help went crazy.
This was the day of F1. No, a day before F1, I think it was. So
and then I swear it got to like midnight, and I had no idea it was midnight with my jet lag. And I was like, "Oh, we're gonna go karting."
No, we came from the outdoor track. I remember.
Yeah, that's the one. Because we went
an hour away from the city to the outdoor track, and then straight to this one.
Desert Falls, right? Well, I got cooked. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got
personally. No, personally, that helps doing warm-up sessions at different tracks. If you do track to track, you're in the zone already.
Yeah, exactly. And we were both in the zone. The only problem was it was hard to get in the zone whilst the karts were cutting out on us, like half through the session. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The batteries were a bit they weren't working very well. I mean, if it was a team sport track, that would never have happened. Of course, you know, premium mechanics.
What's the secret? Because a lot of tracks they run out. You know, after a couple of years.
I figured it out. They just need to keep as soon as it comes in, put it on charge.
Gotcha.
It keeps the batteries fresh, and don't leave them empty overnight is a really important next thing. You see, at our track, we charge them fully and then we leave them overnight, and it just you're caring for the battery. You know, It's you have to care for it. It's like a little baby go kart. You know, swaddle it, care for it, make sure the batteries don't run out. And also, from what I can tell, these were quite an old generation of the EcoVolt GTs. So, of course, these are the new ones, but they're not like new versions of these new karts. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
The ways you can tell this is the green light in the middle is quite an old feature. The way the buttons are set up, we don't really do the reverse button anymore on the steering wheel. To be honest with you, just lots of different things. You know, it's fine though. It was good. It was a good time, and these karts are incredible, especially on Speed 4. Really fun.
It's Speed 4 tight and twisty track. So all the hits,
constant,
really good. So you're out of action right now, but when's the plan to go back racing? Is it
next week? Next week. It was annoying. I had to just miss out on doing race academy because the way I insist on doing my race academy is I always go out on track with my drivers.
Yes.
The absolute best way to track them isn't from the sideline; it's from being right behind them, giving them pressure, giving them like a motivation to push forward. You know?
Yeah. You want to be there. And push them along. Well, have a target for them to chase.
Yeah, I hope this will heal up. It's quite deep actually. It's like three probably 30 millimeters deep. It's really quick, like 3 centimeters deep. It's kind of crazy. But it's all right. We're fine. It hurts, but it's okay. Just about kind of getting back on it, kind of not losing my touch. I've been doing some, what on earth is that track? I've been doing some simulator work with one hand, keep the knowledge of the racing. Like I know I've already got it, but it's always good to keep those brains active. Keep the racing kind of what's the word? The racing mindset active. You know.
Yep.
And the YouTube's been doing really well. We live streaming.
What we're gonna do, what we'll do, Guy, is let me round up for today's session because I was.
Oh, sorry, I'm keeping you. This is a personal chat. I apologize.
No. I thought somebody from the list from today, Felipe or Marius, would have joined, but
but they didn't. So there's no point in reviewing their footage.
No, we'll round off with a question. I think this is great. I'll get your.
You go first, my friend.
Get everyone's perspective. Since we got Philip here, Marcel here, let's round off with everyone's opinion on Marius's question. I'm 14. I'm going to start karting in a few weeks. Anyone got any advice? Basically, he's just starting out, right? We've all got experience here. When we go back to our first time, if I remember, it's going for.
I crashed into a barrier on my first time.
I had a huge crash in my session, but I'll tell you what, going there, I had no idea about what I was doing. Nothing about the lines, the braking, anything like that, right? I was just sitting there and just expected to get on with it. Right is gas, left is brake. That's it. So the fact that you're on the academy already, you probably watched a number of these videos, theory-wise, in your brain, muscle memory, you've got some understanding of how to drive on a karting track. So some of the basics you want to stick to is use all of the track. Avoid entering a corner too tight. The wider you can make a corner, the easier it is going to be for you to drive. More importantly, enjoy the session as well. Don't get too tense. Don't overthink. A lot of this is going to be driving on instinct. And finally, pace yourself through the session or sessions. Right, start off with a 50% pace. Take a look at the track and break yourself in like that. Towards the end of the session or sessions, you want to start pushing, and that's where you'll see your fastest lap times. So progressively get faster and faster, and try to follow anybody as well who's quicker. If somebody overtakes you, just be observant of what they're doing. What lines they're taking. That can definitely help you. Anything to add, Marcel? Philip, then.
Oh, I'm here.
I got a question.
We'll come to you both. Marcel, anything to add on this? Philip, I'm going to come to your question.
Yeah.
Now I was confused. Sorry.
I was saying, any advice for Marius? He's going karting in a few weeks.
Look behind you.
No, don't do that.
No,
behind you. Shut up, Marcel.
No, you're wrong. You're definitely wrong. If a beginner doesn't look, he will crash. He will be hit.
But in front of you, not behind you.
Both,
am I wrong, Omar? Am I wrong?
Mate,
one of the biggest
no.
awareness.
Really, I mean this. If you're slow, you're karting for the very first time, and you don't look if a faster driver is dive bombing you or things like that. That's what I mean. It's dangerous. The first time, just drive and look, please.
Okay, yeah. No, so I actually, I've just realised he's taking it from the other perspective. I've taken it from the fact where looking behind you and kind of focusing on the drivers behind 100% is never good.
No. He's not racing yet.
I understand. Yeah, so but I'm gonna craft this into a more kind of specific thing. It's just shoulder checks. Don't go.
No, please.
Like that. Just literally every time you come to like the middle of the straight or coming up to a corner that like it's tight and people might overtake you on, just give it a quick little shoulder check. Because I agree, it's very frustrating when these absolute bandits at Team Sport ram me into a barrier because they haven't looked, and I'm like all around their outside, I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, bang! I'm like,
yeah, it
is what it is. But very good point, Marcel. So sorry to disagree with you. I wasn't really seeing where you were coming
Philip,
from.
No, that's safety first.
Sorry. Philip, do you have any advice for Marius before we come to your question?
Yeah. I mean, just look up on YouTube on any footage of the track.
Yeah. Great point.
Team Sport GDWare Racing is the best footage.
I think you're cutting out. Your voice is low, Philip.
What?
Yeah. Now it's loud.
Yeah. I mean, when I started from sim racing, and the first time I went go karting, the guy that owned the place even wanted me in his club, but I was in Italy and I live in Sweden, so it didn't work out.
There you go. Sim racing helps.
Yeah, and then I also have a question for you, Omar.
Go ahead.
I mean, on the Discord and the Gran Turismo races,
yep.
This championship, there is not a lot of people that have been showing up.
Yes.
I mean, do you know why, or because?
That's honestly a great question. And the races are organized in real life. We get a similar thing where lots of people sign up because there's no commitment. They just got to fill out a form. On the spur of the moment when they fill it out, maybe they're excited and everything like that. But then when it comes to actually logging in, setting up, keeping time aside, they back out. Now we did a lot of warm-up races and we tested different times and all what works. Friday seems to be best, end of the week. People are off school and work. And then I mean, a reason why people aren't possibly joining the future rounds is they've missed 2 already. So they're like, well, maybe I can't win the championship anymore. But I don't discourage anyone from joining as a one-off round just for the experience like that. Finally, though, finally, I'll just say one more thing. Finally, I think maybe it's just not going to work. Maybe the demand's just not there, right? Remember, we've run this for about 3-4 months. So from the KTips side, we're assessing everything. We're keeping it going for now. But simply, if there's not going to be enough people, then it's not going to be worth the time and effort to organize those. But
and wait, Philip, you've got to put in perspective as well from this point, and that is Omar kind of audience. From what I can see, and Omar can tell me if I'm wrong here, people who want to improve at karting in real life, and like you look at him, he's got 59,000 subscribers. That's a lot of people, but maybe they've all watched one video, thought it was really useful. But that's what I do a lot with a lot of channels. Is I think they're really useful. I subscribe, and I just complete. And it's not like I'm not like Omar's forgettable. It happens to me. Like half my audience is gone already.
Yeah,
they've subscribed and then they've not come back.
Definitely.
But I want to take a promise on my side, and that is I've not been able to attend on Fridays because I'm on the train going home. But I also would like to start promoting it on my channel as well. Kind of join up this, and hopefully we'll get a couple. See how that goes in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
because I have a very active Discord server, links in bio.
Yeah, I joined it today.
See, this guy, see, Omar, you're being betrayed, bro. You're being betrayed. I think another point is Omar's community, I think, are much more mature than my community, at least from what I can tell. Like at a more mature age, and people have jobs. As much as it sucks, people do have jobs, and it's and with the country Omar's in and his religion, Sundays are not a day off for you, or they are.
No. It's Sundays are not a day off. No, Sundays are not a day off.
And that makes
Friday,
the weekend quite difficult to find time to do it on the weekend.
Absolutely. That's correct.
I'm a genius. Thank you.
Well, we got track help right on Sunday.
We love a good bit of food help.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, guy, about generally the audience. So a lot of people come and watch a tutorial video for karting, and that's why they subscribe. So if they see a game and racing, the point of doing this championship was so you guys can practice your skills on the game. Not only that, a lot of people say karting is too expensive. I can't race often. So this gives you an opportunity to do a lot of practice, right? In a very affordable way, plenty of quantity as well. You can do lots of different tracks and all. But maybe it's just not going to work out like that, or it's just going to be a small group. So we're going to assess. We're going to see how things go.
Yeah, and, I saw your Instagram, like Discord server. You put it on your Instagram, and I texted you and asked if I could join. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I took the chance.
That's excellent. No, that's excellent. And we appreciate you joining so far as well.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to have to round off for today's track help session. It was excellent. Unfortunately, a couple of people didn't turn up who did submit their footage, but maybe Felipe can come back next time for that.
Banned for life.
Until next week at 6 p.m. GMT, we will see you then. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Goodbye.